movement. And we normally recite the scripture of the Good Samaritan in the Bible.
And before you can continue about the finger.
Yes, please.
This is the strongest finger.
Yes.
Without this finger, you can do nothing. For us, we take it that Xaverian is the strongest member in the society to help all the others.
Well, thank you. That is a very insightful contribution there that you've given us. When we see the salutes of the Xaverian, sometimes you actually don't really have a complete understanding of exactly what each and everything in there means. But it's very, very rich and very in-depth, and it's very, very good to know that it's actually intertwined in your motto as Xaverians, really, And I also like what you've talked about, how in everything that you do, in everything that we do, it has to come out of love, from the heart, not because you're forced to or not because you want people to thank you, but it has to come from within you, which is something that is really very important. Mr. Walusimbi.
Yes, Madam Nora.
As the Xaverian movement, there is a lot of evangelization in action.
Sure.
Give us a little bit of some practical examples of the Xaverian movement and how they evangelize basically in action.
Thank you very much, Madam Nora. Evangelization, as you have already heard, involves a lot of sharing. When I share something with you, I'm already evangelizing because I'm not forced to share something. Even if I had a small orange and we said, let's share, you will go back and say, that man has a good heart. He gave me some of his. That is the sharing we are talking about. Now, looking to evangelization and through action. Evangelization is through action. There are a number of things that we have been doing that we do whenever we meet. Somewhere when I am the evangelization we are talking about. For example, we can share testimonies. I'm not forced to share a word of God with somebody. During the time of grief, when somebody dies, you receive Xaverians coming in to do some things. For example, they can carry chairs, they can involve themselves in putting up the tents, they can help some people who have problems here and there, they can serve where there is serving, and they are not expecting anything like what? Payment. So that one is actually an action which shows evangelization. The Xaverians also build what we call relationships, and strong relationships. I'm here because I'm a Xaverian now, and you have already picked some passion.
Yes.
Because I'm a Xaverian, yeah. We are already sharing, and I'm evangelizing. Now what I'm giving to here, you didn't send me money to come and say what I have to say. And I'm here. I'm already sharing, and that is true love. Come again?
Volunteering.
Volunteering. If you have attended groups in communities, we always go out for what we call charitable work. We go and help the needy. We take that little we have. We're not very rich, to share the little we have with the needy. Recently, I was in Kasese, and I was made to climb those hills. I don't know whether you have been there. And there is a lady who was very, very sick, I can say. When we went there, we had to make stretchers and they carried her down because she could not walk. She could not sit on a motorbike, because it is only the motorbikes that go there. So we made a stretcher and we had to carry her down to Kagando. I don't know whether you know that place. We brought her down to Kagando, very sick. So we did not expect anything. We are not paid, but we had to do that. And the people around said, hey, who are those people? Actually, we addressed it the way you see us. Said, who are those people? Are those policemen? It is the father we said, no, these are Xaverians and they are carrying out a charitable kind of activity. When we go to communities, we usually identify things that need help. For example, you can find a community which is environmentally sick. I'm using it intentionally.
Yeah.
That is when people just throw things anyhow, velas, with chupas, things of that nature. So for us, we go in and try to educate by doing the picking, by removing what we can manage. So those are some of the actions we can give. We have built houses, we have just clothes for the elderly, we have danced. By the way, did you know that in our comprehensive curricula, we have even first aid? We teach the young ones to give first aid. You know, when first aid can be given, we don't treat, but we give first aid and then carry the casualty to the what? To the nearest health center. So all these are actions we can do. And by doing so, people say, yes, these people have Christ in them. We are evangelizing.
Exactly. I can see. Mr. Kiwanuka, you're adding on a little bit on that?
Yeah, a little bit on the actions done out there. Maybe before that even, one of our articles for the Xaverian movement states that the Xaverian considers any of his neighbor's needs as a concern to him. And as he said, the way we do this one is a format now in the formation.
Yes.
Every individual has to do an action of charity every week.
Every day.
Every single day?
Every week.
Every week.
A day in a week.
Oh, okay.
You find a day in a week where you do
a charitable action.
Yeah, an action of faith. And within that week, we meet 10-10. So 10 of us meet and we share. We share the actions that we have done individually, and we talk about the challenges that we met. So it depends where the individuals are. If it is a section in school, the actions will be within school. If the section is at parish level, then people will go into the villages. So you come and share. This is what I did this week. It went on well. Oh, I had some challenges. Because sometimes we receive challenges. You may help somebody and he or she did not want you to. Some are blind, but you're like, let me give help. And the moment somebody finds out, he says, who is this? They took my so-and-so the other time. Is it the person coming back again? So the challenges. So we share challenges and they find solutions as a team. Then the team itself, the day the team meets, there is time allocated for an action for the team. So when the team meets, the team now goes out for an action, Catholic action. And whenever we are going out, there has been already a research done either by one of us or by the whole members. You just pick out one. You may have a number of them. It depends how many can you manage. We don't do it for the sake of just collapsing, but what we can manage. Right. So the team also does an action, a Catholic action, once a week. Then the teams will now meet together as teams in a school or a parish once a month. And when they meet, our meetings dictate that whenever we meet, there should be an action of faith. So every section will meet once a month and take an action of faith. And every diocese does the same every year. You will hear different dioceses. And when the dioceses meet, that is a camp. We refer to it as a camp. The major aim of the camp is basically to do acts of charity in the villages. And we identify these charities through the parishioners, the parish priests, and the laity chairman or
The parishes.
parish council members. And then we also do charitable work at national level. Is when we meet as a nation and we do, that's when we go in after a good research and we can go into the communities, and you hear the Xaverian movement has made a number of toilets for the elderly in this group. There are certain areas where we have groups of the vulnerable. The that time we're in Jinja. There is a place.
Mufubira.
I'm forgetting the name.
It's around there.
It's a whole village for vulnerable people. And we went in there. We had to do fumigation. They had a lot inside there. The hygiene was not fine. We had to do all that, the washing. And what helps us in these acts of charity or the actions that we take is the education part that we do. Being a movement, it is an informal school. We meet not only to do acts of charity, but there are times when we meet, we meet and have education. So we do the education and it's under the syllabus. People normally refer to them as education badges that we put on uniform, that we put on our uniforms. So we have the domestic science badge. When we go out there, we are involved in the domestic issues of the different elderly people in the homes. So it includes the cooking, the fetching of water, fetching of firewood, cleaning the home, the clothes, but doing it at its best. So that's education that we do. We have the social sciences badge. That is community work now. Community work, as is stated, community development, where you go into a community and you help with the sanitation of the wells, the trenches, the
general environment.
Yeah. This reiteration of the polythene and so on. We can cover up a whole village for that. And further still, we also have the heart for the environment. When we talk of the communities, we also include the environment. Yeah, in the villages, we leave the village at least having planted a number of trees if there aren't enough trees, things of the sort. So basically, there is that education part. The badges are so many. When it comes to Catholic action, we have the first aid badge, we have the social sciences, the domestic science, we have the acolyte sacristan badge or ushering. When we talk about the church, we don't leave the church out. As we do for the community, first we have done for the church. And for the church, the acolyte sacristan badge includes our first badge. That's the first badge of formation. Every Xaverian that you see, wherever you see him, the first thing in the syllabus that he has learned is knowing the liturgy and serving in church. Every member is an altar server.
Wonderful.
We serve at the altar. We do the ushering in the congregation. And even to bigger organized ceremonies, just like, the big one, the national ceremony that takes place. And in there, the first aid badge comes in because we have teams of first aid that help into that. And now we are now partnering with the health committees, the Red Cross, and St. John's Ambulance. So those, they already know. Sometimes they give us the trainings. in our sessions. So when we are partnering with them, they are conversant with whom they are working with. So it's two in one, the study and then the application.
Very, very wonderful there. Mr. Walusimbi.
Yeah, I wanted to add on what he was talking about. You may be wondering how we get all these in us. The people we are working with, or us, have different professions. We have nurses, we have lawyers, we have journalists, we have writers, we have those categories are with us. So we identify people with such potentials and we ask them also to train others. That's why you see when we go out and identify a sick person, the nurse is always with us because we have nurses who are Xaverians, who are nurses. So these ones give the technical advice and then we continue with others. First aiders, we have professional first aiders. They are always with us whenever we meet. We have teachers. All categories of professions are within the movement. That's why we don't find it hectic to do some of these actions we are talking about. And we evangelize, and people will not know that the person who has done this is a professional nurse or a professional teacher or a professional whatever. We have even a policeman. When it comes to security, we are always with them and say, hello, somebody does this. How do we deal with it? Tell us as a Xaverian, and we need to come out as a policeman, but you will see us doing something and say, these people are doing these things like, as if they are. Actually, it's because we have those people. So that's why you see us, the actions and real actions, and you may think that we're being really trained in that. As whenever we meet, I've given such things.
Very nice.
Yeah.
From Mr. Kiwanuka's submission and discussion of the education and then turning it into a practical sense, and to now you saying that there is a richness because that people from all different backgrounds and talents. And so you'll find a teacher, you'll find a police officer, and all these people come together for the good of evangelization through action, which makes it even very, very smooth for you in your undertakings and your work as Xaverians. As Mr. Kiwanuka and Mr. Walusimbi were discussing and talking about evangelization through action, you hinted on sometimes coming back and just discussing together how has it gone and the challenges. I must say evangelization with action must be sometimes challenging. And I just want to hear about some of the challenges you have gone through and how you've navigated these challenges. I can imagine in places, for example, where you hinted when some people just don't want to be assisted, and that is a problem. And I'm like, oh, there are some people who actually do not want to get that assistance.
True.
Oh dear. So tell us a little bit about that. What are some of the challenges? Because I can imagine evangelizing with action may not exactly come as easy as it sounds sometimes.
Thank you so much, Nora. Let me begin with an internal challenge.
Yes.
A challenge within ourselves. As the formation goes, we give an action of faith without asking or expecting a reward. So sometimes, especially the youngsters, when they go out for such actions for charity, they are rewarded. After they are rewarded, and they will refuse. They say, no, we don't want the rewards. We have just helped you our Jaja don't mind. And sometimes there erupts an argument now between the old lady or old man and the team. The team does not want to come back with rewards because the formation is not in for rewards. And the old lady says, if you don't take my sugar cane, if you don't take this and that, then you don't love me. So this one is sometimes brought on the table as a challenge within ourselves. But there is a way we harmonize this. Maybe before it was a problem, now it's no longer a problem. Let me say why it was a problem before. The Xaverian movement, as a movement, has just kept on growing. Started as teenagers. They grew to youth. And as we came to the 70s, the Xaverian movement started in 1952, just after you remember the World War II? A few years after. And those very reasons of the after effects of the war, that's when the missionaries of Africa, in Africa here, in Congo, realized that there was need to reach out to people in need, and they wanted the energetic people. So the young people started the whole apostolate. So from that year, by the 70s, now these were youth. As we approached the 90s, these people had graduated to
adults.
Now, these adults have done tremendous work for the movement because of the animation. We lacked the teachers, being an informal school. When people come together, we're supposed to be educated. Now we're the educators. So you used to seek for one and fail. Now they're within the members. So it's easier that we receive them. So that was one of the internal challenges. Now we harmonize and say, if you do charitable work and somebody has given you an offer, it has not been asked. So that offer is received with gratitude. Another challenge, the common other challenges, is many of the needs in society sometimes are financial. Yes. You go to help out and you find that the elderly people that you're helping will tell you, our need is finances. We are here, we don't have no help, but we want medicine. We want money to go to the hospital. So that challenge sometimes comes to our groups because the Xaverian movement comes in wholeheartedly with the heart and with the hands. So if you go there when you're not ready with such a challenge, then you get challenged. But we normally go in first to give advice. As I said earlier, that we do the research in the village. So we work with the people concerned that have brought us to this elderly. So when we get that information, sometimes together with them, they get to know, and we work with either the primary health care personnel to see that this person receives medicine. But for the Xaverians, as Xaverians per se, except the adults, the younger ones normally collect gifts to offer to the elderly. Yeah, because we tell them when we are visiting the sick or the poor or the prisoners, we're not going to talk to them and maybe stop at the prayer, but we need to do something extra. So please, can you come with something? That is the other gist of the action. So we collect items from among the members, but it's not uniform. It is those who can. Yeah. So we give to them. Now,
At that same point, when we send out somebody to look for a person who may need that kind of help, we always try to find out what type of help because they may not have the same things. You may find an elderly who has no blanket. Another one just needs soap. Another one has no container to cook in. So we always look for those things in advance. By the time we go there, we have at least one of the things, all four of them, that he may need. If he is sick, we mobilize ourselves and say, can we get at least 10,000 shillings? He brings the 5,000, I bring the 2,000, another one brings the 1,000, like that, and we get something that we can leave behind concerning the need of that person.
Yeah, another challenge, thank you so much, Charles. Another challenge is identifying a person in a community as needy, but later on we find out that this person was not. Yeah, there are people that should I call them, are deserted by
Relatives.
the relatives or their children, but who really exist. Something happened not very far from here I think it was in the villages of Namugongo, where we went to, and on that very day of charity, two relatives came by in a Mercedes, and they told us those are the grandsons of this old lady. So we really wondered, because we normally would like to help those that cannot help themselves, those that need the help. But sometimes the person who does the study in the area may not know. Somebody is alone, fine, an adult person, but he has relatives who periodically send either some finances or something. But because he's alone, the community may think this person has no help. So those challenges sometimes are met. But because for us we have nothing to lose, we just praise the Lord. Yes, then there is another great challenge which we normally talk with my leaders here. We go out to help needy people, but later on we get testimonies from our members who are more needy than the people we went to help. Yeah. One time there was a story after helping some young children in a village. We collected clothes, shoes, and some other materials. So after that charitable work, as we were coming back, two Xaverians were pondering about the action. So they were talking about what is happening at their home. So one was saying, I don't have a school uniform. My school uniform is totally torn apart. It is only this Xaverian uniform that I have, and I go to church with. So when the Xaverians see me, they think I am,
Okay.
but at home I don't have. And I saw these children being given all this. I felt I wish I was them. So it touched which was an adult lady who came and said, you people, charity begins at home. I think we need to first find out what happens in the Xaverian movement. But because, as I tell you, this was now a national charitable work. We had just gone to that area and we left the area. So we simply now communicate maybe to some of the leaders. Unfortunately, we do not have all the 4 branches of the Xaverian movement in every diocese. Some dioceses have only 2 branches. They don't have the 3rd and 4th branch. So they still struggle to get educators. In other dioceses, it is the policy. It's the policy in the diocese. In this diocese, since we do not have much educators, we want all the members to be in school. Because at the parish areas, we do not have space for them. There we don't have educators. So you find that they're only in schools. and many more challenges.
Yeah.
But basically, if I'm to talk about challenges, you can sum them up to finances for one reason.
Yes.
When we're in Namugongo for Matters Day, we have the first aid team that is always requested. We normally provide 100 members for that. But the work they do is to lift the sick people to the health tents at whatever distance these tents might be. And every year we have requested for stretchers. We tried to initiate stretchers and failed because even the materials, the local materials we were supposed to use to make local stretchers are also expensive. So we normally ask for stretchers, and it seems we don't succeed. That's a challenge to us. Sometimes when we are doing some of this work, we need gloves. So what to use in carrying out action is a challenge to the movement. The facilitation of carrying out some of these actions. We were in Kasese some years back, and the charitable activities that we were given were to go out in the villages and make racks and latrines. Everybody was ready, but we didn't have the equipment to use. So we had to go into the villages and ask for the hose and ask for
the pangas
and ask for the reeds, because we normally do the semi-permanent ones. Yeah, we make the hole, the pit hole, the temporary format. I don't know whether you know that one, and we build up with the reeds. So the facilitation of the action that we do is a challenge, that one that we do not have an immediate solution except in a few circumstances. Yes, please.
Your challenges, like you said, seem to be around finances when you summed it all up. And I just couldn't help but wonder, at times when you are involved in this evangelization and action, are there days when you've met resistance? How do you go about that?
I remember one. Let me. I think I shouldn't mention the area because I may offend them.
Some people may be biased.
Yeah, but it was not in a wrong way. We went to some place in the western part of the country, and the day we were supposed to do, because we normally provide a whole day, we were supposed to do the charitable actions or charitable work. But as we prepared for the day, it was just the next day, our chaplains came and told us, the local chaplains in the area, came and told us, in this area, we didn't find
the
need for charitable work. We do not have the needy, we do not have vulnerable groups. Everything is perfect.
Good, yeah.
Yes. So maybe we can find another activity for that day. But for charitable work, we are okay, the whole area. That was great. However, one animator, a nun, later on told us that however much we do not have families or people of this category, she had observed that there was some need for the environment. On our way to that place, there were many banana plantations, but in one town to where we had camped, the town was polluted
Yeah.
with the plastics, the polythene bags. The trenches were not the best. So she told us, let's walk from here, go to that trading center and carry out that. And that is part of action. But I think they had not noticed it that form. So we did that, and the whole community was amazed and really thanked us for that. And it was too much really into in that kind of, they were in that kind of state. So that was a challenge where we were like kind of getting resistance. Don't help us. We are not vulnerable. We are okay.
We don't need this help.
There was also another challenge where we had some resistance. I remember there was like this year and next year, you know what is happening within this year. I is a politician there. So these people are looking for votes for. Yes. That one was in central Uganda here.
Yes.
Not it was in central, but I will not be from the place. Then he had to go to the police. I remember. Then the police officer came and started interrogating us. You people, why are you here? What is it? What is it? So such challenges are always there. But we had to explain it, and then he had to relocate us. He said, no, if you are going to do that community work here, no, go and do it from the other place. But it was a challenge.
It is really.
Yeah.
It must have been, that was a big challenge, especially in a very controversial time,
Yeah.
Where society gives with a different motive. And to them, by you coming and showing some charitable acts, they feel you have a hidden motive, which is very different with the Xaverians, really, when you look at it. Very, very.
And maybe, Madam Nora, there is also another confusion that takes place with the apostolate, the members, Xaverian, with other movements, because sometimes we may look alike putting on this combat. So sometimes we are mistaken to be another movement. Yes. We are mistaken to be another. And explanations have to be made seriously. Because telling them this is a movement of Catholic action, some will tell you, no way. We know you, the scouts. You are this, you are. So we normally tell them, but nowadays I think either the forces in government and so on, they have come to know. And sometimes even the Christians themselves may not know, but when we put on these scarves, at the back of every scarf, there's a Xaverian scarf, there is the XP. The XP is one of the key differences with the rest of the movements that we see. The XP means Xaverian. Whatever I'm going to do is witnessing to Christ, because XP denotes Christ. So that's the difference. But sometimes as we move into the communities, they will call you out other names. Patriotism, this or that, and and sometimes that's also a challenge.
It is.
Sometimes if you don't feel fine, you have to stand back and tell them who you are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
To
Exactly.
add on that, there are some words we use in community which do not augur well with some people who have come up with the positive heart. Xaverians are looking for food they want to eat. You see, when we go to serve, to give a charitable activity, the community in most cases thinks we have come to look for food to eat, which is not the case. We just come in wholeheartedly to serve.
Exactly.
But those negative statements is a challenge.
It is.
When a person makes a negative statement, it becomes a challenge. There are some people with weak hearts, they tend to withdraw.
Oh, yes.
So,
It demoralizes them.
true.
Very, very interesting discussion that we're having here. You've given us the glimpse into what the Xaverian movement it's about, what we do, what you do, the evangelization through actions, the education and then the practicability, and then the challenges in there. We could go on, and I hope we can really get another session and just go through this evangelization through action in its very depth, and I feel like there's so much to it, but our time is really fast spent because we only have about a minute. I just want you to conclude. Yes. Yeah, yes, just when you think we just got started, the time is really fast spent, but I just want you to conclude for now for this session. Just tell us exactly a word of encouragement to someone out there who would, especially the young people who would like to join the movement, and any other thing that you want to put out there as we close. I'll start with Mr. Walusimbi actually before I can go to.
Oh, thank you very much, Madam Nora. As we come towards the end of this program, as you have said, I would like to call upon members of the Catholic community, at least to pay a leave to the movement, to come in and try to learn to do what the Xaverians are doing. Two, to support them. Mothers and fathers who have children, send the children to this movement and they learn. There is a lot of learning as far as our faith is concerned. Then community activities, we teach such things, and children come up when they are whole, right from the head to the foot, when you can do something. There is also what we call one man, how can I term it, to be a whole person in whatever you are doing. So you come and join, and if, Madam Nora, if you have not joined, better come when there is yes, you need also to learn a lot from this movement. So I'm calling upon every person to join the association.
Oh, thank you so much. I look forward to learning more and getting much more knowledge and skills from the movement.
So,
Yes.
the oral skills.
Yes, Mr. Kiwanuka.
Thank you, Nora. I want to appreciate the work done by Xaverian animators, leaders, and chaplains at all levels, in schools, at sections, in parishes, our diocesan chaplains, and our national chaplain and team, and the entire apostolate of the movement. These give us the encouragement wherever we are. But still call upon professionals, because we didn't go into the first aspect, the dimension of the inward evangelization. That one we didn't tackle, but there is a lot there where we do the education. I'm calling upon professionals, the Christians at the different parishes, to please get in touch with the catechists and the group leaders and the chaplains to offer a leaf, because these people want to know and learn a lot. And these are, for example, the professional teachers in the areas, the doctors for the first aid. We cannot travel all around the country, but these people are within the parishes and they can really give a hand. We want to thank our viewers for viewing. We have tackled the part of the outward dimension of evangelization with action, and hope Nora next time will bring us in for the inward dimension.
I look forward to it, really. I look forward to it. Thank you so much, Mr. Kiwanuka, and thank you so much, Mr. Walusimbi. It has been a very interesting and very insightful discussion. Well, and we want to thank you all who have been watching the UNCCLA Listens and Speaks, Evangelization Through Action is just at the core of the gospel, really, when you look at it. And this is what the Xaverians have actually embodied. We thank you, and we look forward to the next time when UNCCLA Listens and Speaks. I am Nora Sende. Until then, take care.
UCTV, good news for all.